So we have officially broke ground on the monkey enclosure. So this first section is just going to be a 30 foot by 30 foot. You know, I told you before that I'll just start with a small section of it and then continue to build onto it. But anyway, so we've kind of leveled this out a little bit. And I say we, yes, I'm out here moving pavers and leveling and trying to get this all ready. But ultimately, it will go about 120 feet that way, is how long the enclosure will be by the time it's said and done. Actually, maybe a little further than that, but see that shed there? A couple weeks ago, we had a tornado hit just a few miles away, and I think we got some of that wind on the tail end of it. It knocked over, it pulled up that wooden shed that was actually staked in the ground, and then it crushed the other shed right next to it. Luckily, I didn't have anything in it, but anyway, so I just wanted to show, I'm trying to document this whole thing. We had to kind of do some cleaning up out here. I had to dig up some bushes, and we had to move a fire pit and that sort of thing. But we're starting the enclosure down this. I was going to start it further down there, but ultimately, probably what's going to happen if they decide they want to be outdoor monkeys is that building behind these sheds is probably going to end up being what I'll call the monkey building. So if they decide that, then we've already got this section down here, and I can just build a tunnel over to that building. So that's why I started down here, and then I'll just go back the other direction. Okay? So, all the pavers have been put down, and the little jungle gym is in the process of being made. I decided not to put the swings on it because they're really not going to use those swings that came with it. So I just bought the rope swing, and then a climbing rope, and then this little tent saucer swing, which we'll see how long it lasts. There's a good chance it's going to get ripped to shreds, but we'll try it and see. And if they rip it up, then I'll put something else there. Yeah, this thing was missing two brackets that connect the monkey bars on the other side of that. And so I had to call Little Tykes and get them to send me those brackets. So hopefully I'll have those in within a week, and this can get finished, put together. Then I decided to put this Rubbermaid shed. It was one of the sheds that came with the property, and I don't need all those sheds, and so I just took the doors off, and then we're using this as kind of a little shelter area and an area for them to get some shade and hide, and it's also where I'm going to put their watering system too. So so that's why this is here, and it's coming along. So the panels are getting put together. That's pretty tall. That's my friend Sean, does a lot of work for me, and then his helper Mason. So all the side panels are up now. The only thing we're waiting on is more of those clamps, those gold clamps, because the system that I'm using is not designed for what I'm actually using it for. And so each panel only comes with 2 clamps. Well, I need more than 2 clamps per panel because of the way I've designed this. And those clamps are not something that they actually sell, that they carry in stock. And so it's a special order. So hopefully they'll be in just a couple more weeks, and we can get that top put on. That's really the last thing, other than the Little Tykes brackets that still haven't come in yet. And once those clamps come in, we get that ceiling put on. This thing's ready to roll. We are ready to bring them out here. It's 12 foot tall. That is pretty tall. So it's coming along. I decided that it needed more support, and so I got 4x4s to add to the support system that I'm going to be putting for the roof, and then also adding 6x6 posts, one on each side, and I think that will give it more support. I'm just concerned about those middle brackets or clamps collapsing over time. I don't think it would happen, but I'm just paranoid. Anyway, so hopefully we're only a few days away from being done, and they'll be out here playing. So I bought 4 of these pergola 5-arm brackets, and it's what will be used for the ceiling to give it structural support. And then all the lumber for it, and you might not be able to see it very well, but it's right over there, right up against the fence. And this is a jungle gym, a little bit different than the other one that's already built, but I saved $500 by buying it on Prime Day, and it's going to be probably about 3 or 4 months before I do the next section, but it was $500 I could save, so it's going to have to sit here in my driveway, kind of, for a couple months, but I'm going to put a tarp over it so that it doesn't get all ruined by the rain. So my riding lawnmower isn't going to fit through those doors, so I had to buy a little push mower, and I decided to go with the battery operated one. I'm a Ryobi gal, so all my tools are Ryobi, so we'll see how this works. But you know, there's areas in there that are going to need to be mowed, and like I said, I can't get my riding lawnmower through those doors. I love it. It's gonna work great, I think. So I have mounted an outdoor security camera, so I can see them when they're out here and I'm in the house. I just need to cut those zip ties. I haven't done that yet, and I had to do a slight modification because I couldn't get it to screw into this vinyl fencing, so I had to just add a piece of wood there so that I could attach them to it. Okay, so my original plan was to put those panels up on the roof part, and I think it would have worked great. However, this ground was not completely leveled, and so that's kind of throwing our measurements off a little bit. So when we poured this concrete here for these pillars, our measurements were a little bit off, because as you can see at the top there, those panels are not going to line up with that beam. So I think I'm going to try something else, and maybe some utility fencing, because the largest parts are 10 by 12, and I think the utility fencing will work. I don't know. This is kind of a trial and error thing. I'm custom building this, and I'm not an engineer by design or by trade. I'm pretty good at building stuff, but this is pretty massive. So I'm having to make modifications as we go. So we're going to try that and see what that does. So we've got the panel fencing up there, and I'm not happy with it. It sags down a little more than I'm comfortable with, and it's also not very strong. Petey likes to hang from the top of the indoor enclosure that's in the living room, and I worry he's going to do that out here. So I'm going to probably have to go with something a little stronger, and I think I might have come up with another idea, but we'll have to see. Okay, so here's the system that we're using to get these are horse panels that we're putting on the top now, and they're going to work really good. They are 6 gauge, so they're very, very strong. But this is the system that we're using to get them up there. This little ramp system here. 2 of us are on the bottom pushing up. We've got those ratchet straps. Somebody's pulling the ratchet straps on the other side, and then someone else on the top kind of guiding the whole thing. And that's how we're getting the ceiling up there. And it's working out. The roof is on. Oh my goodness gracious. That was the most difficult part of this entire build, was figuring out the roof system. But we got it. Those horse panels are 16 foot long by 5 foot wide, and oh, they actually worked perfect once we figured out how to get them up there. So that's up there. I've got a little swimming pool here for them. This is a temporary swimming pool. I'll build them a permanent one next year in probably one of the other enclosures, but this one will get them by for this year. It's just so late in the year that I thought just a little cheap plasticky pool would be enough to keep them going. The brackets came in on the Little Tykes jungle gym, so that was put together today, and that's all done. And then I got this dome, monkey bars dome, and then what I did was I got the AstroTurf. That's the Pet Safe AstroTurf. The reason I did that was because I was thinking, how in the heck am I going to mow that in there? And it would be a nightmare to try to weed eat it. So that's why I came up with the idea to do this AstroTurf. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I don't know if they're going to pick at it, if they're going to ruin it. I don't know. If they do, then I'll just have to come up with something else. The very last thing that needs to get done in here, besides cleaning out the shed there of all the tools, is we're building a deck system here on these middle posts, just to give them something else to climb onto and something else to give them more shade, and then something also to hang their hammocks from, because they have to have their hammocks. They love their hammocks. And then I also bought, you see that black thing along the panels there? That's actually a privacy fence for a chain link fence. You connect it to your chain link fence, and I thought that would be nice for them, give them a little bit of privacy, because on the other side of this property there's a road and it gets kind of busy sometimes. But yet if they want to be nosy like they are, they can always climb up on their jungle gym there and see what's going on the other side. But that'll give them a little bit of privacy. So we are so close to being completely done and bringing them out here. Let me kind of stand back here a ways. That's it. It's just the first section. It's a 30 foot by 30 foot by 12 foot tall. It's not very big, but it's a start. And now I can just build on to it. And then they'll have a much larger area, but this will at least get them outside playing right away. So anyway,